people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 13 of the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Last time, we finished talking things out with Sherlock Holmes, and then basically we ran to Hosanaga again, who basically was going undercover as Asogi's bodyguard, but as you could tell, he failed miserably. Very, very miserably. And now we can move in the omnibus. Kazuma-sama's quarters. I love how it's Susato who's writing these notes down. Naruto has no power here. Passageway, let's go. The bell, the mousetrap for the big mice, the big rats, the bilge rats. First class cabin passage. Phew, I'm finally out of that cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be. And this is the most luxurious accommodations. Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama was being sent on this study tour by the government. That's why he was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in Searage. Really? That must be awful. Oh, look over there. That's another crewman. That's another crewman keeping watch. He looks enormous, even if he's sitting down. The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't. I suppose, like people in handcuffs. Naruto-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought that you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already. He was living in a wardrobe! Well, yes, I know, but the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came on board. And ever since then, I've been shut inside that little wardrobe. It must have been a very trying time for you. Please, don't give me that pitying look. Examine. This looks like a plan of the SS Borea. It shows each deck, look. The Borea is a large-scale steamship with a triple-skinned hull, with a marvel of engineering. Well, it's been playing on my mind for a while now, actually, but how is it that such a huge lump of metal doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean? Buoyancy, Ryuunosuke, buoyancy. The buoyant force, basically, the volume of the ship, coupled with the fact that the buoyant force that its volume coupled with its large mass causes it to float. Oh, that's really quite simple, Naruto-san. It is? Well, considering the Japanese archipelago, the islands of Japan. Yes, they're not metal, but they are enormous lumps of earth, many times larger than a ship. And they don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods created them. Well, I suppose so. Buoyant force, buoyant force. Timer, turn it on. That's a huge book on top of the table there, and there's a pen next to it. Yes, that looks like the ship's log. Shall we have a little look through it? The writing is so neat and precise, every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded. You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. And nothing. No reaction at all. I thought you might appreciate the compliment. I'm not sure that rough and ready is much of a compliment, Naruto-san, even to a sailor. Anyways, last night's log is mostly blank. Presumably that means that there was nothing to report. Let's talk to this guy. Excuse me, but could I ask you something? You little stowaway murderer! That wasn't a good start, was it? Alright, let me try instead. Let me flip him over. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you, but can I perhaps ask you something?
No! Niet! You little third-class ladies mad?
Ow! We seem to have caught the sailor on a bad day, Susato-san.
I'm not a sailor. My mother gave me a name. I am senior crewman Beef Stroganoff.
Hugh, the best thing is just to avoid eye contact, I think.
My mother came up with pun name, and I am proud of the pun name.
Mr. Stroganoff, about this first-class cabin area.
Here we are in finest part of Boreas steamship for very important persons.
What sort of very important persons?
Government officials, kings and queens traveling in secret, many important persons. That is why I'm always guarding this place. I am like Batman, except bigger and stronger and faster.
Gosh, that's amazing.
But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I didn't kick trunk hard enough. Didn't kick it into the stratosphere. I wanted to pick you up and throw you in the ocean. But Stroganoff is not animal. Stroganoff kill you with pillow while you sleep.
Thank you.
If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Sogi's currently occupied?
Ah, da.
Susaru-san, did you understand that?
It sounded like, da. I think it's probably Russian for yes, or no.
Genius.
It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation.
Well, it sounds like there is someone in the next cabin at least.
Yes, it's tantalizing.
Passenger in the cabin. Could you tell me who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Sogi's?
His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylott. He is very important Western gentleman.
A Western gentleman?
Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with murder of student boy. Weak little student boy. Take him down like weak little student boy. I would not be taken down like weak student boy. Anyone try to attack me, I would flip them over and throw them into ocean like Batman. And then I would say, I am Batman.
How can you be so sure about that?
Mr. Roylott is authentic Western gentleman. Such a man would have no interest in lowly students from insignificant Far Eastern islands.
That was harsh.
Could you tell us when Mr. Roylott came aboard?
That is none of your business.
Come to think of it, even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now, and I've been in Kazuma's cabin the entire time, I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin, or even felt like there's anyone there.
Well, presumably, since this gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, he must be rather important. Is that right?
That is not your business. And damn it, CzarThwomp, I am not Smugi.
Are you on watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganoff?
Da, after time, so criminals like you cannot come in, or get out. You try to get out, I send you out in the form of the ocean. The ocean claims you.
I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all?
It is sad about student boy. He was so weak and frail, like little twig.
Were you on watch last night as well?
Of course.
Did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual?
Hit!
Susaru-san, did you understand that?
It was clearly a no!
That's right. Yeah, I was reading the voice right. I was reading my Susaru voice right.
I saw nothing unusual, nothing at all.
And you didn't hear any strange noises or sense anything was wrong in some way.
I said, no!
Sorry!
I punch you in face and you fly backwards, you fly through the wall.
I'm not so sure. I could have sworn that he would catch my eye for a moment there.
This is enough. I cannot say more now. Oh, it is time for me to report to Captain. You must return to cabin.
Yes, alright.
Bulkhead to second class area is staying locked at all times. You escape when the lobster whistles on the top of the mountain. Or as English say, when the pigs fly.
Yes, I understand.
Good! Now we can investigate this area properly, shall we?
Definitely. Move. Wait. Is there... Yeah, is there more to examine? Because I like examining. Okay, good. Okay, we can examine. Come on. I want to examine. Okay, we can't examine. Oh, wait. Yeah. There we go. This is it. This is that cabin next to ours. The one with the ventilator connects to.
Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging.
Maybe who's ever in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask.
No answer. We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in here to help with our inquiries.
How annoying. The bell. What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it?
That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it.
Oh, an alarm.
It says press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship and brings the vessel to a complete stop.
Oh, this I have to see.
What are you doing, Naruto-san? You mustn't touch it! No, Naruto!
And then basically the ship stops. It flips over, keel holes. It just flips. Everyone goes into the ocean. People sliding off.
Damn it, Naruto! You killed us all! It's your fault we're dying!
But this is an emergency situation. Just look at these handcuffs.
You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation.
Ha! I wish everything would just stop. This ship included.
If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that does affect anyone else.
Ah! Sorry, I thought Naruto was gonna charge the door. He was just gonna kick it in, like how Phoenix broke down that one door in Korean Village, just into the channeling chamber. Phoenix just kicked it up and boom! Takes out this big metal door with one kick.
Such a hyper scream, it must have been a woman!
Stand aside. Yes, stand aside! I'm about to break this door down! Holmes! Opium! Style kick! And then Sherlock takes a big whiff of his opium. He's just like, oh yeah, that's the stuff! Kicks the door down.
Mr. Sholmes!
I shan't be stopped when the fizz is on me. I'll revel in kicking doors off the hinges.
Please, make Mr. Sholmes! The door doesn't appear to be bolted.
So what? I'm still gonna kick it down. It doesn't. Oh well. Kicks it down off its hinges. That was easy. And now the doors can't dispatch this muscular edge. What pray can I kick? Ah, Naruto! You mind if I borrow you for a sec? No! Kicks him right in the nuts. Kicks Naruto right in the nutsack. And then 100 years in the future, a smile just spreads across Kristoff's face. Kristoff, why are you smiling at me like that? Oh, no reason, right? I just felt this feeling as if my ancestor kicked your ancestor in the ball sack. I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief. Yeah, I'm loving this. Good thing I did a change on the voices. I'm having a lot more fun because of it. Number 2. Who are you? I don't know. A Western gentleman. This man looks Russian to me. We hear a woman scream. A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there's no one here but me in this cabin. True, this old man does appear to be the only person in here. But in that case, who just screamed? Oh, I forgot to check the evidence. Okay. Yeah, just check it out. Sherlock Holmes 34. Get out, all of you! No! Ladies, excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimsby Roylott, I believe. Yes, that's me, and you are... I'm the one and only, the actual Sherlock Holmes. You've heard of me, no doubt. No. Yes, you did. I am a great detective among great detectives. One who adorns the covers of popular magazines, no less. I am in vogue in Ebony magazine. So I assure you, you may trust me completely. The man used that magazine like a business card.
What better way for business to be transferred than in a magazine? A detective? I do not trust detectives. We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe this time. So might I be so bold as to ask you to open that small traveling case? What? Don't be stupid! How could anyone fit inside a small trunk like that? I know, guy. It's quite fashion these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk. Don't look at me.
Oh my! Did you see that, Mr. Naruto?
And then it opens up to reveal Palatine. How did I get in here? Tracy! I told you not to touch that thing in that British guy's lab! Yes, the case had just shook. Leave now! Otherwise, I'll cut the steward! So this is Kazuma's neighbor, Mr. Grimsy Roylott. There's no doubt about it. This strange Russian man's eyeing something.
I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that bloody Santa returns.
Sherlock just sleeping in the wardrobe. Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Holmes? You know address me as Sholmes. That's what I did, isn't it? Well, oh, Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there? Sleeping? Or I was resting, of course.
Resting?
Indeed, I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting for the inevitable time that you would need to call my great powers of deduction to service, and my catchy ass theme song kicks in. I kick in, and I'm here.
Oh!
And it would seem that the hour is upon us now. The time has come. Am I mistaken? Well, no, actually, you're spot on for once. Observe closely. Our Russian host in this cabin, Mr. Roylott, is clearly trying to hide something. And you know what is the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret? Why? The truth, of course. Though it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusive for the Russians. Right. Can you imagine how the Russians will react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it?
Oh yes, please!
Well then, what you're about to say may well astound you. For I am about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to this case greatly. Very greatly. Could this man be a more acne portrait of a dubious Russian, I may ask you? What? From time to time it occurs to me. Is this fellow dubious on account of his Russianness, or Russian on account of his dubiousness? I really don't think either of those things should be occurring to you, or anyone. Ryuunosuke is politically correct, and those statements make him feel uncomfortable, Sholmes.
That's right, and Mr. Sholmes. I know that man's view and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on first meeting, but I once read, it is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases the judgment.
Shh. I must have complete silence. The voices in my head need to speak up. What are you doing? Why are you peering at my fist like that? Ah, just I thought. Yes, I have quite made up my mind now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Roylott, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions. What do you mean? Number one, your true identity is that of a villain! Using those shears, you are about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not? Huh? And number two, the other conclusion I've drawn, you are a
At the very moment's notice, in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize that you've been discovered. Does it not? Ah!
Oh, Naruto-san, I never imagined I would witness one of Mr. Holmes' great deductions with my own eyes.
Yeah, it was a great deduction.
Nothing can deceive Mr. Holmes. In a single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person.
What? What ineffable twaddle?
Oh, yes! I read about it countless times in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And now I've experienced the astonishing impact of this great deduction firsthand. This is like a dream come true.
I can hardly believe it, but all the color has drained from Mr. Roylott's face. It looks like somehow both Mr. Sholmes' conclusions were right. Oh, how could you? How could you possibly know such... I'm sorry.
How could I possibly know such a thing, you would say? Very well then, I shall elucidate. I shall explain how it was that I arrived at this pair of conclusions. So I cordially invite you upon a journey of logical discovery. Let's board the train of reasoning. But blindly, let's work through my deductions together.
The great deduction. The game is afoot. The game of figuring out what's going on through Sholmes' head. Old man's identity.
So, the dubious looking Russian Mr. Roylott, obviously, what catches the eye in the first place? The spotlight that I somehow created from thin air is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is stare us right in the face. You are on the verge of using those shears to cut away that copious beard you sport. Now, moving on. I spin around like a dancer. The question then begged is this. Why would you desire to rid yourself of that magnificent beard, Mr. Roylott? Once again, the answer's plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Regarding, if you will, this morning's newspaper. In particular, this fascinating front page article. Which, it would appear, you have read also, Mr. Roylott. I'm sure need no further clarification. This evidence reveals your true identity. It's the article about the revolutionary. In translation, the headline reads, Revolutionary Violin Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. Having noted the article yourself, you decide to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. You are the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself, Villain Bolshevik. Not that I've heard of you myself, you understand.
A revolutionary on the run. Wrongdoing.
Now, as for my second conclusion. Spotlight, please. You are at this very moment on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime over there. Oh yes, Mr. Roylott. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. Ah! Now I assure you, the eye speaks so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies with where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that travelling case. It is time, I think, that the case be opened and its contents laid bare.
No, I refuse.
What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? My submission? A young lady, perhaps, once light enough to fit there within. Don't be absurd! And what, pray, would the identity of this young lady be in the travelling case? Dear me, we are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oral betrays you. Once again, we need only for your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refused to open your traveling case can be equally found in the pages of this newspaper. For there's another, more stimulating article. If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back page, renowned prima ballerina of the Novavich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us to a wide conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlova. Kidnapping of a young ballerina. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this Russian enigma. Elemensky. Include that line in the book, Wilson. Hurry, Iris. Write that down. I came up with that on the spot.
Holmesy, please! I'm trapped by the 4 bags of opium! They're swallowing me whole, Holmesy!
Susato-san, that wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about, was it?
Well, the story's of one of Mr. Holmes' great deductions, you know?
I'm sorry.
But that did seem a little different somehow.
Excuse me, Mr. Holmes, could you come over here a moment? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about your deductions. Would you mind? No, go on. Well, to start with, there's the newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but these two men look nothing like each other. Ah, yes, I recall a discussion earlier. And at the same time, I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary, well able to revolutionize his own appearance.
In fairness to Mr. Holmes, Mr. Royal does look more like this man than you do.
That's not the point. And another thing, the part about him abducting the ballerina. Indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case will appear to be too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just at first glance, it is too small, clearly. You'd be lucky if you have a 5-year-old child in that case, even if you pushed really hard. Once again, we come down to the grand mastermind of this all. Baby. Ido is the true mastermind behind this. Ido snuck inside that traveling case, and he killed Kazuma as revenge.
I don't suppose the missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she?
You mean you don't know? No, the young lady's 15. No, I didn't know. How could I?
Well, if she's 15, then 10 years worth of her would be poking out the case.
Some years ago, I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain listlessness in their bodies. Vinegar? For such a sour brand bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to contort oneself into the confines of that small case.
Oh dear, you might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Holmes.
This whole thing is turning into a circus.
Mr. Naruto, something occurred to me about Mr. Holmes' deduction just now. I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of the matter almost instantly. It's just where he directs his attention and his logic that seems a little off.
Your idea of a little may be a little off itself, Mr. Sato.
It's just 1 or 2 key words in his deduction that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if we might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think?
Switch some key words in his deductions.
Yes, but very tactfully. I feel sure if we could do that, we'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Holmes' great deduction.
Precisely the thought I was going through my own mind. This man is a lot of work. At times I wonder how anyone puts up with me. It's not that funny. And you, my good fellow, take a moment to look at your wrists. My wrists? I'm like a magician.
Where are the handcuffs?
How did they? I felt they may hinder your ability to follow me in our Dance of Deduction. I don't believe it.
Mr. Shams, you're a marvel!
Sorry. I go around the transition between the Maya voice and the Coyote voice. They're trying to fight each other. And don't worry, I shall restore the shackle to your wrists when we have finished. I'm not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this. So, let's begin. Sherlock Holmes is proud to present is Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Opium pipe, take me away! Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Holmes. The old man's identity. Old man in the sea. So, the dude is looking Russian. Mr. Boy Roller. Obviously, what catches the eye in the first place? It's the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Now, we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us right in the face. You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away that copious beard you sport. I'm not sure. Would you really use shears like that to cut off a beard? I doubt that's something I'll ever have to worry about. It doesn't quite sit right with me, though. It doesn't seem to be sitting right with Mr. Roylott either. Which means, I suppose, that the deduction is wrong. Let's try switching a key word here, Naruto-san, and see if it helps matters. Alright, but how? I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Roylott. I wonder if it's really his beard that he intended to use those shears on. Exactly! If we manage to find something that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Holmes' deduction better, then what? Then I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, Naruto-san! Why am I the one to do something about this? Well, anyways, let's see if there's anything we can even use to switch around the last sentence. What exactly is Mr. Roylott really going to use those enormous shears on? Golden locks. What the? What is this? It looks like a cascade of sudden golden locks. No. The color is not the point. The point is, what is it doing on the back of Mr. Roylott's head? And how is it growing out from underneath his thick black hair? Well, yes, that's true. So it's stunningly beautiful and stunningly surprising. Something's definitely not right here.
Yes!
Yes, we swap him around. I love how Ryuunosuke, he just starts spinning around too. He gets into it as well. Yeah, now I'm imagining Kristoff and Phoenix. When Phoenix was disbarred, Phoenix did a part-time job of helping Kristoff out during cases. That or Kristoff got Maya to help him out assisting cases, and Maya just loves spinning around in circles. Miss Faye, I told you, when we do deductions, we only spin around limitedly. We do it sparingly. It's to preserve the class and elegance of this style of investigation. I love spinning! And Maya just spins around and around until she gets dizzy. You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away the golden locks you sport. Indeed! You have identified the precise detail I was intending to expose. Such lush golden hair certainly does not benefit an old man. You're not a man at all. You're a woman. And judging from the length and sheen of your hair, one seemed very much in her youth. Oh no! I don't even know how to do a fake male voice. I am not good at doing a fake male voice. If only I managed to cut my hair, no one was suspected. The question then begged is this. Why would you desire to rid yourself of these magnificent locks? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity. This article about the revolutionary. Well, that was a shock. I had no idea that old man was really a young woman in disguise, did you? What? Why are you staring at me like that? Yes, it would be a surprise, Naruto-san. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Sorry? You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room deducing facts with Mr. Holmes. I'm just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything. This is a strictly business, not strictly... Yes, I understand. Say no more. Well, anyways, let's focus on this next part of Mr. Holmes' deduction, shall we? The evidence that he picked up doesn't fit the facts at all. No, that's true, given that Mr. Royal is actually a woman. Exactly. He, or rather she, can't possibly be this merciless revolutionary.
I suppose it's because the deduction as a whole has taken a different direction now.
Yes.
Let's switch the evidence for something else. Something that fits the facts as we now understand them.
For some reason, this woman needed to try to hide her true identity. I feel as though I've either read or heard about a young woman in a situation like that recently. Alright, I'll do my best.
Yes!
Ballerina article. We change the future. The evidence that reveals your true identity is, of course, this article about the ballerina.
That's right, you hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. It would appear we are finally able to address you by your true name.
Yes, because your true identity is that of Novovich Ballet's prima ballerina. Tongue-tied. Hate those tongue twisters.
Miss Nikolina Pavlovna. Ah!
Yes, in the hat. Right in the hat. Yes, the beard removal.
You're right. My real name is Nikolina Pavlovna. But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone.
Yeah, I love how they just aggressively cross that out. It's like Ryuunosuke, he's like, victory is mine! She kidnapped herself. It's the only obvious solution. It's the only obvious answer.
Now, as for my second conclusion, you are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime over there. Oh yes, Miss Pavlovna. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. And I assure you, the eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, the traveling case.
This woman is the ballerina.
This woman's the ballerina, and she's right in front of her eyes. So clearly she can't be inside that traveling case as well. Unless she can multiply herself, she can clone, she can do mitosis. No,
that's right, not right. It seems she wasn't abducted at all.
In which case, what is the crime this young woman apparently committed? I can see I'm going to have to step in and fix the great detective's mistake again.
You seem to look pleased, Naruto-san.
Do you like
the idea of another chance to dance around Mr. Sholmes?
Stop it! Anyways, there must be something else here that shows what this woman is up to. Okay, here it is.
Yes!
Boom. There we go. The proof of your crime is surely this tiara. I believe this tiara is worn all day by dancers in the Novovich Ballet, is it not?
Indeed, it would appear to be identical to the tiara pictured in the newspaper article. And if the reporting is to be believed, it is an item worth 20,000 rubles. In summary,
the crime you committed is theft.
Oh no.
Yes, you left your ballet troupe unlawfully taking their precious tiara with you.
I have no one, no family, no friends. I am all alone and I needed money. But I did not steal the tiara. It was a present from, an Earl of Prussia. It belongs to me.
This girl is only 15 years old, and she's run away all by herself. She must have been extremely lonely.
Alright, I will tell you everything. There is no point in hiding it now.
Come, let's not be hasty.
What?
There remains one unsolved mystery about you.
Mystery? What do you mean?
Why was my Sherlock voice just devolving with it? You have Staunton with you to open this traveling case of yours in our presence. Is this the reason you conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason why you wish for it to remain closed? Is that not so, Miss Pavlova? My dear girl, there's no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Indeed, I have a very good idea of the contents of your case, even before I have ever laid eyes on them. Dear me, we are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oreille betrays you. Once again, we need only for your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written on the books on this shelf. He's completely changed tact with his deduction now.
I think Mr. Jones is acting his logic to the changed circumstances, don't you?
Maybe, but why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf into all this? It's just a wild guess, surely.
Oh, do you think so?
Well, it doesn't seem likely that the reason why this young woman doesn't want to open her case would have been written in a book that doesn't even belong to her.
Yes, it's true, but still. Miss Pavlova certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself.
Then there has to be another reason why she won't open her case. And it must be somewhere in the same area. If that's where her gaze was involuntarily drawn.
I agree. That's the only answer.
Whatever she has hid inside that case should be revealed by following her gaze in the direction of the bookshelf. Okay, here we are. Rules of passage. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabinet. Pets are also strictly forbidden. With an asterisk, I believe. It had an asterisk. No. Okay, that was a quote mark. I thought it was an asterisk. Except in special circumstances. Inside that case of yours is something forbidden from the carriage of this vessel. That is the real reason why you refuse to open it, thus revealing its contents. As we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time, but no weapon or other dangerous item would move on its own accord. Which leaves but one possibility, Miss Pavlova, inside your traveling case. Is the last item that says forbidden in the vessel's rules of passage. A pet. Yes, the animal. What if the pet is also a ballerina? Then Holmes' previous deduction could also be correct. Elementary. Okay, once we get to a question, I'll end it off. So clearly, you aren't who you say you were.
No, I am not Grimsby Roylott. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. Everything you said was correct.
You absconded during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. Later that same night, you stayed aboard this vessel, which couldn't have been easy. The Boreal is a huge steamship with a vast crew, yet somehow Ryuunosuke did it. Could she really have stuck on board without being noticed? In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman, and you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendation is to leave well alone. So, if it was just you about to cut your own hair, who was it that let out that scream we heard from outside the cabin? We'll answer that next time. Anyways, I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back with the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want. Without, see you next time. Bye.